heated argument with my African Nigerian mother about the trauma that she put me through. They treated me like an adult when I was a child. I took care of my siblings. I took them to school. I bathed them. I raised
Everyone,
my
welcome back to my
siblings.
channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. Guys, you saw that video. Of course, it's self-explanatory. And if you're an African, okay, let me just give a brief this thing, just in case you didn't understand. It's about this young girl that was complaining to people about how bad parenting has affected her life. If you're an African, of course you could relate. I could relate because I'm the third child and I'm the second daughter of my parents. You know, she said that her parents would send her to take her siblings to school, bathe them, feed them. I could relate. So I had to watch the video because I read the comments, and that is why I'm seated here today. I read the comments where people were cursing out the parents. You will not have the number of children that you can take care of and all that. The one I did not, like was the fact that her father used to beat her, Why I'm actually seated here today is that I want to tell people, because of those people that were cursing the parents, parenting is not beans. Parenting is not easy. It takes a whole lot. I don't want to lay blames on the parents, or I don't want to lay blames on the girl because I've not heard from the parents. So I cannot sit down here and judge. People raise their children based on the knowledge that they have. That's what I want people to understand. People raise children based on the knowledge that they have. If you're an African, like our parents, when they beat us, they give us all those tough, training, is the way they were raised. And they had to. They felt that was what made them who they are. And so they have to transfer, whatever training they had, to us. Do you understand? And you could see when the girl was saying that she went home and she saw her mother treating her younger sister the same way. When she complained, that her mother said, is it not the same way I raised you that you're an independent woman that you are today? You see the mentality. So people raise children based on the knowledge they have. And parenting is not easy. Like a lot of people didn't know what it takes to be a parent, or what parenting is all about, until they became parents, including the speaker here. I didn't know. I know I was going to be a parent, but I didn't know like 100%, 100% what it takes to be a parent. Parenting is learning on the go. So don't see somebody act in a certain way. It could be the level of the knowledge the person has. I'll give you an example. There are people, when they were growing up, maybe they were not from a well-to-do family. And so maybe they saw their neighbors that are rich, or they buy toys for their children, they feed their children very well, they see their children, they are flashy, they wear hair and all that. When they grow up and become, rich, what they will understand as maybe good parenting is giving their children toys, feeding their children, giving their children food that they felt they didn't get while they were young. That's why you see some people, they put on, you see their children, they put on wigs on their children. That is their understanding. Some people, they bleach their children because they feel that is when people see them, with long hair and all that. That is what, people will see as they are taking care of their children. Do you understand? Sometimes I don't blame people. That is why, personally, one of the things I won't say I'm scared of, one of the things I don't want to fail for any reason is I don't want to fail as a parent. That is why I don't rely on only the knowledge that I have. I will not say that some of the things my parents gave to me, all of them are 100%. In those days, we didn't have opportunity to have that kind of friendship relationship with our parents, especially our mothers for the girls, until we became adults. And now we have found out, discovery, that it is good, as much as you have to, discipline your children, it's also good to have that good relationship with your children. So, but somebody that doesn't know this will not know. Now, parenting involves financial, like, you have to take care of your children financially. Even the Bible said it. Secondly, there are a lot of things, virtue that you have to imbibe in your children. But I didn't know this before. Recently, I went to parents meeting. Like I went to school to collect the report of one of my children. So the teacher, after discussing the results, and the teacher was telling me, after discussing results, they will tell you behavior of your children. So the teacher told me that this my son has a big heart. He said that my son is very kind. He has a big heart. And she said, she told me, there are those kind of kindness that you teach children. He said, this your son is the kind of kindness he has is not the one that you teach him. It's the one that he came with. And it now occurred to me that kindness is actually one of the virtues you teach children. I didn't know before. I did not know. And this virtue, like kindness, humility, is not only what you teach them, you act them. Because you are, no matter whether you like it or not, your children are looking up to you. You're a role model. You can't tell your children to be kind, tell them that to be kind, and you're not displaying those virtue of kindness. So it takes a lot as a parent to raise grounded children. You know what these children are to us is they are arrows that God gave them to you, plain sheet. Is the way you just nurture them. Write whatever you want to write. As arrow, you throw them to the world, that any word that comes in, anybody that comes in contact with them will bless the womb that gave birth to them, or bless the parents that gave birth to them. So it takes all round to raise these children. There are a lot of things school will not teach your children. It is your responsibility as a parent. There are things Sunday school teachers will not teach your children, that it takes only you. Self-confidence is not what school will teach your children. Students in the school can try the self-confidence of your children, but it's left for you as a parent to put that self-confidence in your children. And this entails, like, individually. There's an adage in my country that said "Ofun nemo, manowu ofu chikere," meaning that every child has a way you raise that child. I was sharing with one of my friends the other day. I said that Proverbs 22 verse 6, train up a child in the way he should go. The Bible did not say train up children. Are you getting me? It said train up a child. That means individually. The way their faces are different. The way there are manners that you have to train. There are things you can do collectively, and they also have their individual way you can raise them. The way you can talk to this child, do this thing for me, and the child will do it with all his heart. Maybe there are different approaches you have different approaches to every situation in your child. This child might not be academically okay, and this one might be academical. You find a balance so that this person will not feel intimidated by this person's intelligence. You try to imbibe all these things in a child. You're supposed to provide financially. You have to imbibe these virtues in your children. So I want people to understand, if as a parent, don't rely only on the knowledge that you have. I always look up to people that have succeeded before I came. Do you understand? So parenting is learning on the go, and you will never get to a point of ease in parenting. You keep raising your children. The moment it's just like you relieve yourself of one. Like when your kids are toddlers, there are things they are dependent. Then when they become teenagers, there are things you have to let go. Like maybe you're not the one that will bath them, you're not the one that will feed them, and you get to the next stage of maybe trying to mold them to who they are supposed to be. Now, coming back to what the lady said, she said that her parents, she used to take her siblings to school. Her parents would tell her to feed us. Personally, I said before, people raise their children based on the knowledge they have. And as much as I'm concerned, the way we were raised at a very high level will affect also the way we raise our children. So for me, personally, I don't see anything wrong with that. Nobody should crucify me. Personally, because I saw what people were saying. I'm like, I am a working mother. And sometimes I come back home. I am exhausted. Wake up in the morning. I'm preparing my kids for school. I have an 11-year-old. I have a 13-year-old. I can tell them, okay, while I'm getting your younger brother ready, I'm taking care of him. You prepare his snack that he'll go to school while I supervise it. I am raising, for me, yes, they are relieving me of that duty, but I'm still raising them. They cannot, finish dressing up and they are relaxed. I'll do this one, I'll do this one. I cannot have an 11-year-old and a 13-year-old and I'm still washing plates under pressure. No. I will wash when I feel like washing, but it's their chore now to be washing plates. It's not like I'm pressing it on them. For me, I am raising them because I don't know where they will be tomorrow. I cannot have a 13-year-old and even an 8-year-old, and I'm the one constantly dressing their room. And no, I will not come and kill myself. I am relieving myself of that duty as well. I am raising them. It's not that you're enslaving them. For me, oh, that is what I feel. I don't know what you think. So as parents, honestly, I want us to, not to limit ourselves to the knowledge that we have. Let's feel it's important, why you send them on, why you raise them and tell them things to do. You also sometimes tell them, you know, the reason why you're sending them, because I feel like the girl is not really that grounded, because I don't understand why, how sending her on an errand, telling her, or maybe I didn't understand what she said, but you shall watch the video. Maybe I didn't understand, but from my own knowledge, this is what I feel. And sometimes when we see children, not behaving well, let us not jump into conclusion that the parents did not do well. Maybe the parents did their best, because like I said, what our parents gave us was all they had. Well, you remember in those days, they say pastors' children, they are spoiled. Their pastors, most of the time, maybe they are busy working and going to church. They didn't understand that they need to also spend time with their children. Do you understand? So people raise their children based on the knowledge they have. We shouldn't jump into conclusion to blame parents for what their children say or how their children turn out in some cases. And as parents as well, I want to encourage us, don't limit yourself on the knowledge that you have. Expand your knowledge. If you see me, the way I rush teachings on parenting and the way I rush books on parenting, you will not believe it, because I think that part of my being is tied to bringing up my children. Do you understand? Yeah, that is what I came to share with us today. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.